Brothers, inshallah, please stop taking on these second wives when you know you can't afford it. If you can't afford it, and if you do it anyway, then you will be oppressing your first wife and your second wife. Or even, you may even, sometimes oppress both of them because of the fact that if you can't afford it and then you lean towards the new wife and give her her rights, and then you know you can't afford it because once you do that, then you really don't have enough to give your first wife her rights, then you're oppressing your first wife. And when this happens, sisters seem, the sisters, may Allah cure them, and may Allah help them be strong Muslims and stand firm upon some oppressions that the brothers bring to them, is that you know you can't afford it, brother. Rijal, men, you know you can't afford it, but your desires be so hard with it that you go ahead and do it anyway, and you don't fulfill the conditions. You know you're not financially ready. You know you ain't financially to the point where you can pay the rent at your first place and the rent at the second. You can't provide food in the first and provide food at the second. You can't close the first one, you can't close the second one. Then you have kids at the first one, you can't close them, and then you can't close your stepkids that's over at the other house. Or once you start getting married, you may have a child with her, you can't provide clothes for them. You're oppressing your wives and your children, Yahi. Rijal, you are oppressing them. Allah does not love oppression. You're oppressing them because now you want to make the sister end up not liking polygamy because the fact that you went inside you put her in polygamy knowing that you can't handle that right now, and you can't handle it at a certain time doesn't make you less of a man. You not getting to it knowing that you're not able to take care of it makes you it makes you more of a man than you jumping into it because you want to, because your desires is going off the wall because you done seen all these Kappa Bents outside half naked. Now you ready to take on another one because you think, oh, I need it. My desires is up and running now. Okay, fine. But you must, alright, there's something you want to do. I can't stop you. All I can do is advise you that you shouldn't do it if you know. Men, you know what you can afford. It's not up to our wives to say, oh babe, you can't afford it. Your wife shouldn't have to remind you can't afford it. You're the husband, you're the leader of the house. She shouldn't have to remind you that you can't afford it. Not that. It's permissible for our wives to give us advice. That's true. I'm not neglecting that. But I'm saying in that category where you're the sole decider of what you want to do, your wife shouldn't have to, especially if you want your wife to respect you. Well, I'm the man of the house. This is my house. You do what I say. You don't leave out until I tell you to leave out. You don't spend your money. I tell you to spend your money. That type of brother wants that respect from their wives. Alright, you want that respect from your wives. But you also got to give your wives respect. You got to respect them enough to say, okay, listen, I want to take on the second wife, but I know I can't afford it right now. But I want to get you prepared for this. And brothers, this is what you should say to your wives. Even though we know that it's not going to, be that simple or that easy. But once she cool off from you saying you want to take on the second wife, then it's gonna be a talk. Because like I said, the Sahabiyats were jealous of each other, and we can't expect our wives now not to be jealous. So what you do is you go to your wife, you let her know, listen, I want to take on the second wife, right? I'm not saying I'm gonna do it right now, but I know myself I can't afford it, and I want to, as a time where while I'm trying to get my finances right, I want us to go ahead and get counseling. Get an older brother, somebody who find an older brother who's in polygamy, that been in polygamy 15, 20 years. Not this brother over here around the corner who only been in polygamy for 2 months. Both wives about to divorce him because he can't take care of him. SubhanAllah, you don't go to that one for advice. He need more advice than you need advice, because he in a situation he can't handle neither. Both his wives about to divorce him. Both of them about to get kicked out their houses because he can't pay the bills. No, get the one who been married in polygamy 15 years. Tell her, come on, let's get counseling. Alright, she may not want to get counseling right away. Alright, you go to the counseling. You talk to the brother, so y'all have one-on-one sessions. You talk to him and ask him what's his advice. What you should do. My money ain't right, but I want a second wife. Get his advice on it. See how he approached getting a second wife. See how long he been with his first one before he took on the second one. What's the steps that he took to get his first wife prepared for him to get a second wife? Because a lot of times our wives here, they need to get prepared for it. A lot of times brothers been married 6, 7 years, and they need to get their first wives prepared for that. That's gonna be a big step. They've been with you for 7 years, just you and them. It's you and you the wife. Just them. Now you wanna go ahead and bring somebody else into the picture. They need preparation. Brothers wanna jump and do it, and they wanna expect their wife to accept it. Alright, fine. They not like the Sahabiyats. Just like we never gonna be like Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. They never gonna be like Fatima, Aisha, and Ruqayya. They're not gonna be like none of them. Just like we not gonna be like them, the Sahabas. They're not gonna be like the Sahabas. So we can't expect our wives to be another Aisha or another Fatima, another Zainab, who when they had their concerns regarding that they went to the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and they talked to him. They didn't lash out on each other like our wives do now. And a lot of times that come from brothers not talking to their wives before they do it. They just jump and do it, and they don't get counseling. They don't get advice from brothers who've been in it for a long period of time and who can advise them good about it. They jump into it. They probably even get married, then come home and then tell their wife after they did it, thinking that's a smart move or she can't divorce me now. I do it. No, that's not a smart move. That's a dumb move actually, because now you helping that sister not like polygamy. Or when somebody come to her for advice, like, no, don't jump into it or nothing like that. And a lot of times this stuff don't come. And a lot of brothers think, all right, this come because they don't want us marrying no other woman besides them. No, it ain't because of that. A lot of times they got a bad experience. A lot of times they got a bad experience with that, either by them being in that situation personally, or either they know somebody that been in that situation, or they constantly hear situations. The only situation they hear is bad ones. So brothers, we need to, if you want to do it, okay, fine. Fulfill the conditions first. Make sure you can afford it. And me saying make sure you can afford it doesn't say go ahead and search for a woman who has Section 8 or PHA or any of them low income houses, because you don't want to be a man and pay the bills. You want to be somebody that has something low so you can afford it. No, she shouldn't have nothing that you need to afford. You need to be able to already afford it already before anybody even be a candidate that you want to have a sit down with. You shouldn't look for sisters who fit your budget. No, you should have your budget set so any sister come along, you have the money to prepare for it. You have the money prepared for that. That's being a man. Not being the one who searches for a woman who only has $100 rent or $200 rent. Alright, that's not, I can pay that. Let me cop that. Let me grip that up. Let me have a sit down if I can get married to that. No. That's being a coward. That's being somebody that you know yourself you can't afford somebody who has a alright standard, or has a moderate standards in her maintenance. Alright, you looking for somebody, alright, and somebody come across like that, fine. I'm not saying don't marry no sisters like that. I'm not degrading no sisters that has low income housing. But I'm talking about the brothers who search for women with low income housing. You may be searching for somebody, okay, fine. Then Allah bring you somebody, Allah, you have your money right. Any sister come with any her rent, alright, you got that money, take care of it. Alright, fine. But then Allah seen you being sincere about it, and He make your situation easy. He bring you a sister who with low income. Alright, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But to stop searching for that. Our sisters are being turned off by polygamy because of us men. Because I'm not excluding myself from nothing I'm saying. Our sisters are not accepting polygamy in the West. It's because us as men, we're not being men about it. We're not being men about it. That's why our women are not going for it. If we try to get a second wife, they ready to divorce us. Why? Because we wasn't being men before that. We need to be men to our first wives before we even think about trying to be a husband to us. We need to be men. We need to be husbands to our first wives. We need to give them all their rights. Give them what they need before we try to take on a second one and bring another one into the house. And that's a lot of times why sisters don't go for it, or they don't try to be patient in it. Because you haven't been a husband or a man in the first place with them. They just been patient with you because they love you. And they really don't want to leave you. Because brother, I hear brothers always hollering, oh, now she tripping now. No, she tripping because I'm getting a second one. No, you tripping now. She being patient with you from the get-go, and now you want to take on a second wife. So brothers, inshallah, first of all, this advice is for me, first and foremost, and to my brothers out there. Brothers, we need to be men. We need to stop acting like women, and then we need to stop expecting our wives to respect us as husbands and leaders of the house. We need to start being leaders. We need to start being men. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.